Representative McGovern, you actually would like to have a conference of hunger convened. We had one in 1969, and some remarkable things came out of it, including the school lunch program, the food stamp program, the school breakfast program, SNAP for women, infants, and children. And you say that it needs to happen now. This crisis is much more serious than people who don't go hungry believe it to be.
Well, first of all, I thank you for having me, and thank you for all that you've done to call attention to the issue of hunger in America. Look, I really do believe this is the time for another White House conference on food, nutrition, and hunger. We have a hunger problem in this country. And, one of the challenges that we face in solving it is that the jurisdiction to solve it falls under multiple committees, under multiple agencies. So a White House conference could pull everybody together, anybody who's relevant in solving this problem, bring together in one room, and let's develop a roadmap with benchmarks to actually end hunger, not to manage it, but to end it. And I want included in that room those with lived experiences, those who are going through dealing with hunger. So this is the moment. We have 45 million Americans who are hungry. We should be ashamed of that. We're the richest country in the history of the world. We can do better. And so as the chairman of the Rules Committee, we began a series of hearings that we're going to work with all the other committees to bring them together to actually help build the record that we can give to the White House, and hopefully they will do this White House conference on food, nutrition, and hunger. I've talked to the Secretary of Agriculture. I've talked to the Secretary of Transportation, others in the White House. I think they're supportive of the idea, but I think now is the time to have that conference, and let's end hunger.
Gene, this whole idea of hearing from people in a conference like that who have a lived experience of hunger, you see people and talk to people every day who have that lived experience. And one of the things that has struck you in the last year is what happens when you encounter somebody who is new to hunger or food insecurity. The remarkable fear that goes through you, it's paralyzing. It embarrasses you. You don't know what the resources are that are available to you. And sometimes your food bank is their first stop.
Absolutely. And thank you, Ali, for having me on the show. It's a pleasure to be here. In fact, in April of 2020, the first full month of the pandemic, the Worcester County Food Bank and our network of food pantries saw a 205% increase in the number of people going to a food pantry for the very first time compared to April 2019. These were people who until recently had worked in non-essential service jobs, in retail, and in the hospitality industry. People like Marie. When I answered the phone, I could detect the panic that was in Marie's voice as she explained to me that she had 3 children, she was laid off, she had never had trouble feeding her family before, and she just didn't know who to turn to or where to go. And she was trying to pay her bills, but it was a real scramble while she waited for unemployment to be approved. So the first thing we did was Marie and I took a deep breath together, and I told her she had come to the right place. I gave her assistance on how to apply for the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. I told her the school where she could go and get takeout meals for her children. And then I looked up the food pantry closest to where she lives, and I discovered that the food pantry was closed. So I invited Marie to come to the food bank because I didn't want her to go without food for one moment or her family to go for food without one moment. The pantry would be open the next day, but that was just too long for her to wait. So when she came to the food bank and my coworkers and I brought out boxes of fresh food, frozen food, and a range of non-perishable food items, Marie met us with a smile and some tears of relief. But, Marie is just one of tens of thousands of people who had never needed to go to a food pantry before the pandemic gave them little choice. And when I met with her, she reminded me of my neighbor. And that's when I thought, that's who the food bank and our food pantry partners help. We're helping our neighbors, whether they live next door, around corner, or across town. And they are kids who are in school with our kids and grandkids, and they're senior citizens who stand next to the supermarket checkout line with us.
You know, some of Congressman McGovern's colleagues in Congress have said that this expanded aid to people discourages work. I only have about 30 seconds left, but what have you seen as a result of expanded aid to people who do not have an income right now?
Well, let me just say that those who are criticizing President Biden, and thank God we have a president who recognizes we have a hunger problem in this country. But the bottom line is, if government is not there to help solve this problem, then I don't know what good government is. And the bottom line is, one of the statistics I want to tell you is that people say to me all the time, well, people should just go to work. Well, the majority of people who are able-bodied, who can work, who are on SNAP, actually they do work. The majority of people,
they want to work.
They work. They earn so little, they're still on SNAP. So the bottom line is, we need this White House conference to look at this issue holistically, to be able to address the challenges that Gene just outlined, and we can do this. We can end hunger in our country.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. You should know that you can follow today's top stories and breaking news and catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.